Good morning, all. Morning. Beloved community. Well, last Sunday, we delved into our history of being beloved community, and we recognized what a rich history we do have. We also recognized and honored the fact that we are very much here, vibrant, growing even, and remaining firm in our vision that we speak every single week and that we spoke earlier this morning. We see humanity awake to its divinity, fully experiencing love, peace, and abundance. Fully experiencing, fully realizing, embracing, and becoming the very essence of love, peace, and abundance, the divine within. The second aspect of last Sunday's lesson was the affirmation rise, that as beloved community, we are to rise in consciousness and rise in action to serve the universal beloved community, people found outside of the walls of our church. And today's music was so absolutely perfect. Love, serve, and remember. That fits beloved community to a T. And that does not only mean us as a church, but each one of us as expressions of the divine. We are each to rise in our personal consciousness and rise to take that next step to being expressions of the divine qualities to make our world a better place, day to day, moment to moment, wherever we are, whatever we are doing. So last year in 2021, we came up with some new and very creative ways to do that outside of our walls as a church community. And we'll talk more about that at our annual meeting in 2 weeks. But one of the ways was our peace sign and heart-shaped sand sculptures. Several of us have met at Higgs Beach and spent about 2 hours creating our sand sculpture and then decorating it with painted shells and seashells that the children created in our children's church. Now, this may seem like a minor thing, but for those of us who either remained behind after it was finished or maybe came back later and spoke to the people who had come across our sculpture, who had taken pictures of it, maybe selfies with it, and just to see their happiness, their joy, their amazement at receiving this simple free gift to whoever happened to walk by. So touching to see this. We've made them for Father's Day, International Day of Peace, or just because. And we'll be making a heart-shaped one for Valentine's Day. I shared with you all in a previous talk about the impact of our first peace sign sand sculpture. When it was just about complete, a woman drove up to Higgs Beach. She was on her way to a celebration of life service for her son, who had been killed in Tampa. And when she left where she was staying to go to the celebration of life service, she asked God for one thing: to show her, to communicate to her in some way that her son was at peace. So when this mother drove up, she was stunned to tears to see this peace sign that was created right next to where she and her family were having this celebration of life service, a sign of peace, which she was absolutely confident was created just for her. Such a simple and such a powerful act. And then the universe conspired for us to know this story. Someone from our group went over to someone from the group that was gathering to see if we could have someone take a group photo for us. And that's how we learned what they were there for. And that's how we connected with the family. And I got to speak with the mother and to find out how incredibly blessed she felt by this simple act. And we were all blessed by knowing her story, by hearing her story and being touched by it. When we are on the right path, and there are many right paths at any given moment. But when we are heading in the right direction, the universe appears to want to affirm that for us in some way, to make the way easier, to clear the debris out of the way. I had a friend ask me just the other day if God might have directed her to pray for someone. It was someone that she had not thought of intellectually in her mind to pray for. She'd received the inspiration to do so and wondered where that idea may have come from. I am confident that when our mind and our hearts are open to the direction of spirit, where there already exists a willingness to respond, guidance is often found. And when that direction comes to us and we're surprised by it, as this person was, it is truly inspired. It's inspired by love. It's inspired by compassion. And when we're inspired to do something and part of us does not want to do it, which has been true for me before, I know that this is inspired guidance and that I need to act on it. I believe so wholeheartedly. Years ago, when I lived in St. Petersburg, when my children were younger, I was dropping the last one off at school. And on the way, I passed by an area of town where many of the homeless would camp to sleep overnight. They would put cardboard down and sleeping bags down on the sidewalk up against a large warehouse type building that was no longer used. And I saw a young man setting up a cardboard box around himself and laying down to go to sleep. After dropping my daughter off, I drove through a drive-through that was nearby and picked up some hot food. It truly seemed like something I was supposed to do, to give this breakfast to this young man. It felt like the decision was really out of my hands. It was the right thing to do. I was absolutely sure of it. And it seemed like a good idea until I realized I now had to park the car, get out, and walk up to this sleeping person. And I experienced a measure of fear and vulnerability. I no longer had the protection of my vehicle around me. I was second guessing the act of generosity. What if I made this person angry or they were defensive? Or where do you knock when someone's sleeping in a cardboard box? But I gutted up and I was determined to follow through with the mission. And it went okay. I think I surprised him. I'm glad he had a hot breakfast that morning. Was this earth-shattering? No, not that I know of. Might it have made a difference? Perhaps. I'd like to think that the young man felt cared about, even if just for a moment. It does not take huge efforts or grand gestures to impact our world. I read a story about a teacher who invited a Buddhist monk to speak to his senior class. The monk arrived very, very quiet and humble and moved slowly up to the blackboard. And then he wrote upon the blackboard, "Everyone wants to save the world, but no one wants to help mom do the dishes." And everyone laughed. The monk went on to say that statistically speaking, it was highly unlikely that anyone in that class would ever have the opportunity to run into a burning building and rescue a child, although they might. But he went on to say that the smallest gestures of kindness, a warm smile, holding the door for the person behind you, taking care of some small errand or task for your neighbor, can commit an act of immeasurable profundity. Profundity meaning an act that has depth and strength and authenticity. Because to each of us, our life is our universe. He told them that their small acts of kindness may save another's world, and that was his wish for every one of them. Your life is your universe. My life is my universe. Acts of kindness do not have to be earth-shattering, grand actions to bless us incredibly. We've all heard of of stories, people who were on their way to jump off a bridge or to take their life in some other way, who said that if just one person smiled at them that day or spoke to them or noticed their anguish, they would not do what they were thinking about doing. A smile is a grand gesture to some, and it could be something that has a grand positive impact. I described last Sunday the work of Unity Southeast in Kansas City, Missouri, under the spiritual leadership of Randy Feeke, the good works that they're doing with their monthly grocery giveaway, and even more recently, the creation of the warming centers. So those who didn't have a place to sleep could find comfort, a warm place to sleep on the coldest nights of the year. Well, I talked to Randy about what he was doing and what he needed. And one of the things he asked for were current copies of the Daily Word. Now, the Daily Word is an amazing introduction into unity. Denzel Washington and Oprah Winfrey both tout the benefits of reading the Daily Word every day. I recently read an article where Denzel Washington had encouraged the person who was interviewing him to get the Daily Word and to read it. It's interesting, too, that just a few months ago, when a few of us gathered to brainstorm about 2022, about how we could be more proactive in moving our vision into the community, we talked about and ultimately ordered additional copies of the Daily Word to give away, to place in laundromats or the library, wherever someone might pick it up and read it, getting the Daily Word out into the hands of people who might be ready to hear the message. So now back to Unity Southeast and the Daily Word. So I thought to myself, I could do that. I can get the Daily Word to Randy to hand out to the folks who are coming to his warming center. So I called Unity at Unity Village, and I spoke to a lovely woman in the wholesale department. And she listened to the story I shared with her and what I wanted. And then she put me on hold, and she was only gone a minute or two. She came back and she said, yes, we can send them 20 current daily words, and we'll do it for free. Can you pay the postage? Well, that was an easy yes. And don't we see those things happening when we step out of ourselves and we move forward in generosity? The universe supports us. The universe conspires to find a way to make the way easy. And Randy was thrilled when I told him that the daily words would be delivered. And just so you know, I never miss an opportunity to invite an exciting Unity speaker to come visit us. And so I'm talking to Randy about he and his daughter coming down this summer. So that is in the works. To be beloved community is to show ourselves compassionately in the world. It's a very powerful thing. Compassion is the foremost expression of divine love. Endless love, a love that knows no restrictions or limitations. And such a love is available to us, each one of us, all the time. But few of us manage to express it in our lives. And the beloved community is always working to express the love in greater ways. And this truly requires a degree of emotional and spiritual maturity, to be capable of true compassion, to see the other, whoever they are, as one with ourselves. We grow beyond our inherent fears and our human needs for safety and comfort. We don't need to be right. We don't need to assert our personal preferences for how things should go. We're okay with being vulnerable, being in the question, and not directing every decision. That's a big one. Because although it sounds wonderful, all this unlimited potentiality, we might be thinking, I'm okay with social action as long as it's done my way or it addresses the needs I think are important. Or I'm okay thinking big, looking at divine potential and unlimited possibilities as long as we do things the way we've always done them. Or I can think outside the box, but I prefer staying inside of it. Thank you very much. We laugh and we just might recognize a kernel, a little gem of truth in there. for emotional and spiritual maturity means seeing beyond our own needs, the needs of our ego, the needs of familiarity. A function of beloved community is to foster the development of mature emotional and spiritual self. To put away childish things and to become a true adult is to transcend the limitations of fear and any sense of inadequacy. And that is where the true freedom lies. It is preparing ourselves to express our inner love and power more effectively in the world and to assist and support our fellow community members in doing the same thing, as we all don't get to the same place at the same time. We all need support, assistance, and encouragement to get to that place, to move towards the universal beloved community. We do not withdraw from the outside world. We do not see ourselves separate from everyone else. Rather, we choose to engage with our world. No one else's decisions are wrong or less than. We are not above. No one is below. We are reflecting. We are expressing a consciousness of amazement, of pioneering, of evolution and emergence, where there is recognition that we may be headed into uncharted waters. And uncharted waters can be intimidating. Heading into the unknown always has that aspect to it. Here be dragons. Church has never been about that, the uncharted. Or has it? Surely the early church, the way the followers of Jesus were blazing their own paths, trying their best to follow the life and the teachings of this man that we came to know as Jesus Christ, attempting to apply his examples of love and acceptance into their world, into their daily experiences. This is the example for us to follow, not church as has always been done, rather love as it is to be expressed. Love, serve, and remember. The church of today has become a place of ritual, which I love, and repetition, tradition, and familiarity. We don't require a program on Sunday mornings because we pretty much know what's going to come next. The familiar gives us a sense of security, of belonging. The familiar gives us a safe space to experiment and try on the various practices we teach, the spiritual tools filling our toolbox. And yet, Jesus did not say, go out and feel safe. Go out and repeat exactly what you did last year or 2 years ago or 5 or 10. He didn't say seek God first and then retreat into the comfort of your inner world. Jesus said and modeled for us, seek God first and love one another. That takes a good measure of risk, a measure full to overflowing. Passion is required, strength and bravery, a willingness to be vulnerable. Howard Thurman was a 20th century American author, philosopher, theologian, educator, and civil rights leader who was a mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He has a writing called The Work of Christmas. And in this, he says, it's still Advent, not Christmas, so get ready. When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with the flocks, then the work of Christmas begins to find the lost, to heal the broken in spirit, to feed the hungry, to release the oppressed, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among all peoples, to make a little music with the heart, and to radiate the light of Christ. Every day, in every way, in all that we do and all that we say, then the work of Christmas begins. So very well said. We are to do all things in the spirit of love. Love, serve, and remember who we are. I so look forward to exploring how we here at Unity of the Key Spiritual Center can be more Christ-like in action this year. Bring your ideas to the annual meeting in a couple of weeks on February 6th. John Denny will be your in-person speaker next week, and then I will be joining you in person the following 2 weeks. As always, I look forward to our connection. We are, beloved community. We invite the space of possibility of uncharted waters. We are brave. We are strong. Bring it on. And so it is. Amen.